Today's total body fitness, we are going to use the stability ball. We're also going to use some dumbbells and some loop resistance bands. So without further ado, let's get started with some warm-up. We're going to breathe first just to focus on the rib cage with the expansion and contraction. So those muscles around there we take for granted. We don't actually focus on them very often, but that is where we will begin by breathing in and exhaling out. Now you can either put your hands here on the sides of your ribs, or you can cross like this, whatever makes sense, or in the front. You're gonna breathe in and feel the ribs expand outward, not just forward, but outward. Inhale and exhale, and you'll feel them come inward. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Now try it with your hands down by your sides. Relax those arms, shake them out a little bit. Same exercise, inhale and exhale. Feel the back expand, and then exhale, contract everything in. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Now just move your legs around, walk around, because sometimes deep breathing can create a little bit of a vertigo or a little bit of a dizziness or lightheadedness. From here, we're just going to pedal out the feet. Then we're going to lift one toe at a time. Going back to pedal out the feet. And then lifting one toe at a time. And one more round, pedal out the feet. And lift one toe at a time. You should already feel those muscles working. The other thing about the calf work I enjoy doing is the fact that it actually helps you get the blood flow moving quicker. So you need a little less warm up when you start with your feet and calves. So let's start with baby squats here, continuing up the leg. We'll just go little small movements just to say good morning to those knees if this is morning for you. If you're doing this on a video with me now. Should start to already feel that movement, that tension, and then just shake the legs. And then we're gonna do hamstring curls. So light and easy, okay? Don't over contract here, just kind of kicking back. Should maybe even feel your hips start to wake up a little bit as well. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. We're going to do a stretch with our ball. You're going to put your hands on the ball. Your knees are going to be soft, and you're just going to bend and lengthen. Depending on how big your ball is, maybe you're on your elbows instead. My ball's pretty small, so I'm going to be up on my hands. And then you're going to go a little bit wider with your feet and take your hips side to side, keeping the legs straight. Here's the side view. And then I'll show you what it looks like maybe from the front. My legs stay straight, and I'm moving my hips, getting an inner groin stretch. And then come up. You're going to turn your toes out. You're going to bend your knees and you're going to grab your ball. You're going to bring it forward. Then you're going to bend the knees and come up. Couple more. And bring your feet together, still holding your ball. You're going to turn to the right and turn to the left. Go slow and controlled. Stretching through the spine. One side might feel easier than the other. Know that that's probably your habitual side, right? Everybody's got one side that just is a little bit easier to rotate towards. And then we're going to take the ball to the wall and we're going to roll the ball up to as high as you can go, working the shoulders. So you're going to roll it up. You're going to push a little bit into your ball and roll it down. The whole time I'm going up and down, I'm pushing into my ball. You might even feel your forearms working, warming up the wrists, shoulders, hands. All right, now we're going to roll the ball from middle down towards the floor. So you're going to turn your fingers down towards the floor. You're going to widen your stance and you're going to bend your knees as you do it. You're going to roll down and roll up. Only to here, keeping the hands with the palm or the fingers facing the floor. So now you're going down into more of a hinged squat, pushing against the ball. The more you push against the ball, the harder this exercise is. You're going to work your biceps. You're going to work your core. You're going to work your legs. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Now you're going to turn around, you're going to put your back against the ball, and we're just going to stretch. Lean back and come up. Stretch, lean back and come up. Releasing the tension from that last exercise. And next we're going to go into a wall sit. So that means your feet are going to be out just a little bit in front of you and you're going to bend the knees and you're going to roll yourself down and up. Now there's several different ways to do the wall sit. The way we're going to do today is you're going to think of keeping your head stacked over your shoulders, trying to stay upright versus coming forward in this position here with your head forward and your butt going under the ball. I'm going to think of keeping the butt forward as well, even a little pelvic tilt to activate the abs to put all the tension into the thighs. You shouldn't feel your glutes work at all in this. Your abs are on and your thighs are on. You can have your hands here on your legs if you need the extra support. Arms can be forward, arms can be overhead. Just depends on your level of wall squat, okay? So let's do 10 of these, nice slow control. Remember, a little pelvic tilt, abs kind of pull in like you're pushing the lower back against the wall. And you're gonna maintain that. Don't let your butt sink underneath the ball. You place your hands wherever you feel is the best for you. We're gonna take it down. Keep that butt from going backwards. 1. Head is lifted. 2. Your eyes are focused on the horizon for 3. Chin parallel to the floor for 4. See if you can go a little bit lower on 5. Again, down for 6. We go for 7. Number 8. Number 9. And on 10, we're going to hold it. And we're going to open the arms to the T. Open out to the T. Abs are on, thighs are quivering. Yes, indeed. And then come on up. So if you were watching me do it, I actually had my knees stacking more over my toes versus over my ankles. So if you take a peek here, see when at the end of the day, my knees are definitely more forward. If you've got knee issues, you would maybe want it so your feet are further out in front of you and your knees stack and you're a little bit more back weighted. But I was actually trying to get a little bit more strength around the knee than anywhere else. That's why I brought that back. The further your feet are back underneath you, still maintaining that, the more the knees go over, then you can start to lift heels for a more advanced version of the same exercise. Next, we're going to go into a plank. You're going to come into your ball, onto your forearms, and you're going to bring your feet back, and then you're going to knee drive. Now, if this is enough for you, this is fine, but if you can bring your knee up towards the ball, try to maintain a balance, that would be great. You can always put your hands on the ball instead and still do the exercise. Forearms does make it harder, especially in the shoulders. What's nice about this exercise is we're holding basically a plank in a little bit different hand position, unless you're doing it on your forearms. And take rest. Excellent. We're going to come to seated on the ball. We're going to walk the feet forward and we're going to walk the feet back. We're rolling to go onto the spine, onto the ball, and then we're going to come back up to seated. Look forward the whole time. If you start to look up to the ceiling and back forward, you'll get dizzy. So you're going to reach the arms forward, walk 1 foot at a time, and start to lean backwards. As you go further and further, you can get as far as you want to go down that you're comfortable with, and then you're going to walk, come back up. Now, if you can walk all the way to your upper back or even your head comes on the ball, that is fine, but by that time you will need to look up. But try to look forward as long as you possibly can. Are you ready? Are we gonna go for a ride? We're gonna go, he's gonna ride with me. Here we go. So you're gonna walk it down. If you get all the way down, you can go ahead and put your head on the ball and lift your hips up. And then you're gonna lower your hips. Look forward before you try to roll back up, and then push your way back up. With each step, you're trying to sit up a little bit more. You add a 20-pound weight or dog in your lap, it definitely increases the intensity. Let's try again. Here we go. Walking it down. See if you can get to your shoulders, head goes to the ball, hips come up to a glute bridge. Then you're going to lower and push your way back up. You can always use your hands on the ball as an assist. Let's go again. This time when we get down there, you're going to try to lift one leg up. And maybe it's only here, right? This is okay. You can lift a leg here. You can keep going. You can get all the way to that bridge pose. And you can try to lift a leg here. It becomes much harder. Doing a march. This is a great hamstring and core exercise. And then head comes forward, and you're gonna make your way back up to seated. Alrighty, excellent. We're gonna pause on the ball, and we're gonna switch into the loop band that you have. I'm gonna wrap it right around the wrist, or just right, avoid your watch. Okay, we're gonna pulse low, and we're gonna pulse here, and we're gonna pulse up over the head. 10 of each. Good posture. Even a little contraction through the abs would be good. And then you're going to pulse those arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then up. Maybe it's up over your head, or maybe it's slightly forward. And we pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Go ahead and shake out the arms. We're going to do an internal and external rotation of the arm bone. I don't want your shoulder to move, so I don't want you to turn your palms and do in and out. And see how my whole shoulder and my back is moving? I want you to try to keep that steady and just move at the arm. All right, let's go again. 10 pulses low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Overhead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Relax, shake out the arms. This time you're gonna do a pot stir. So you're gonna place one hand onto a leg and just let it kind of like traction out. Relax, release, and then switch to the other side. Right. Next, we're gonna do, I don't know if you would like to call it a bow and arrow. That's what I usually call it, but some people like to call it punches. So you're gonna grip your band. You're gonna push one arm forward, that's your punch, and pulling back to create that opposition. All right, so those punches can be straightforward. They can also go across the body if you want to start to create a little rotation. I usually don't create rotation, but it is an option for you, so don't feel like it's wrong if you're doing it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take break. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can get your ball back out, and we're gonna come onto the stomach. We're gonna work now the upper back muscles. So on your knees, you want to make sure that you have plenty of room because you're gonna try to get the ball to be on your stomach with your feet on the floor in a plank position. And you don't want to be too far forward where your feet come up. You actually want to feel like you're shifted back so that you really can be back weighted to lift your arms. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift back, then we're going to come down, then you're going to go out to the side like an airplane wing, then you're going to come down, then you're going to go to a Y. When you do Y, I want you to think your thumbs up to the ceiling, then you'll come down, then you're going to move the arms forward to an I shape straight up over the head. Same thing if possible, so you can get the thumbs up to the ceiling and lower down. When you do the ones behind you, palms face the floor and the thumbs are out. All right, let's move at your own pace, but I'll go ahead and count out my reps. That way you kind of can know where we're at in the process and not have to look up. You do want to make sure that you're not moving your head in this, and you keep it long with a little bit of a chin tuck, and I'm not saying a big chin tuck. You just don't want to be looking like this, kinking the back of your neck. So keeping that long, and we begin. And then you start over. So that was 1 rep for me. You go back, side, get that V or Y, and I. That was 2. Back, T, Y, and I. That was 3. back, T, Y, and I. That's 4. You should feel your upper back working. Back, T, Y, and I. 4. Back, T, Y, and I. 5. Back, T, Y, and I. 6. Back, T, Y, and I. 7. One more. Back, T, Y, and I. So we're going to come onto our sides now to try to stretch and get mobilization through the spine. So we just did a lot of building through the shoulders and upper back region. Now we're going to try to move it onto the side like a gate pose in yoga. The leg is out to the side and you're on a knee, and you're going to come onto the ball onto your side. Once you get there, the knee then becomes loose. You want to kind of reposition it so you're really more on the side of the leg. And we're going to bend through the spine. So I'm going to keep my hand on the floor, and I'm going to bring this hand up, and I'm going to try to bend down, and then I'm going to come up using these side muscles here. If you have scoliosis, you're going to find that one side, it feels very easy and non-restrictive. Maybe one side will feel more restrictive. The side that feels more restrictive, just go a little slower and take a little longer to do the exercise. So we're going to reach, and now contract through your abs and the side, and you're going to try to come up as high as you can come. You're going to go and stretch nice and slow. And you're going to contract. So now we're trying to build strength. Very nice. Stretch and up. We can also incorporate some breathing here. So we are working those ribs and those lungs. So inhale, expansion, and then contraction is your exhale, making yourself smaller like we did in our very first exercise. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. You may even feel the side of your neck working. That's a good thing. Inhale and exhale. Excellent. From here, we might as well continue with some then lower body work. We're going to lift the top leg. So you can put your hand onto your hip or bring it into the air or on the ball if you need the extra support. We're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Try to keep your toe and knee facing forward and not up to the ceiling, trying to use the side of your hip and your glute and even your lower back muscles here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to plant that foot. You're going to lift the bottom leg. Now, if you can't lift the whole leg, you're too unsteady, you can just try the knee or just the foot. But if you can lift the entire bottom leg, we've got 10 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we're going to switch to the other side. All right, so you're going to be onto the side of that ball. You're going to move that leg so you feel nice and long, like you're in a side plank. And we're going to stretch and contract. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. And if everything feels even on both sides, you would do the same number to get the same degree of sensation. Okay, sometimes it's not about doing equal number of reps. as much as it is getting the same little fire burn or that same little feeling of effort. Once you reach that max effort, we'll then switch to the other exercise, lifting the leg. We'll lift the top leg 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then getting a little bit more grounded through that foot so you can lift the bottom leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Have a seat on the floor, and we are going to push the ball into the wall. Your feet can be wherever it's the most comfortable for you. If you can't sit in this position, you can always sit up on some blocks or sit up on some pillows. But that's what we're working here is the spine and these hip flexors. So you're trying to sit with a straight spine and not rounded. And we're going to push the ball against the wall, and we're going to push, 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 and we're going to try to go up as high as we can go and still maintain a lot of strength in the push. You're going to feel your abs work, your back works, and maybe even right here, those hip flexors are going to have to work, okay? If it's way uncomfortable, you could still do the exercise cross-legged. It's just not nearly as intense. So here we go. Push, push, push. I'm just pushing and rolling that ball, little inchworms up and down, trying to stay as steady as I possibly can. It looks so easy, but I'm telling you, if you're doing this with me, even if you have only a small ball, whew, yeah? And let's do a couple more. Alrighty. We're going to do a quick hip flexor stretch. Come on to hands and knees. You're going to step one foot out to the side. And I want the foot flat on the floor and as much to a 90-degree angle perpendicular to the other leg that you can do. From here, you're just going to move your knee in and out first. Then you're going to keep it out best you can and then move yourself towards that leg, going laterally side to side, getting into that inner groin that you just worked doing that ball exercise. And then switch sides. First is that in and out knee. And then keeping the knee out and then rocking side to side. And then release. Next up is shoulder scapular push-ups. Let's do 10 of these. So you're going to come down to your elbows and then make sure your knees are back a little bit so that you're not like right on your kneecaps. Kind of lift them up and then reset them down. And then you're going to keep your butt level with your shoulders. From here, you push hard. Separate the shoulder blades. Keep the shoulders though away from your ears, okay? Then relax. Then push. Then relax. And push. Here we go. We're going to begin with 10 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're exhaling when you push. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Go ahead and lower your hips down, landing in a sphinx if this works for you. Gonna do a quick half frog. So you can slide a leg out to the side and then try to get your entire body flat on the floor. And then switching to the other side. And then release, push yourself back up. If you need a child's pose, go ahead and take that. And then let's do plank to down dog. Let's just do that 3 times. So land in a plank using the strong arms, your core. You're going to push your hips up and back, put a little bend into your knee. And then shift forward to plank. Down dog. And plank. Down dog. Walk your feet forward and take a quick stretch and rise up to standing. Okay, you're gonna need your ball and 5-pound weights for lateral and forward raise. So ideally, I'd like you to be seated on the ball. This way, you have to only work your core and your shoulders. So my ball is small, so my legs are more extended. So depending on where you're seated will depend on how close your legs are together. Ideally, though, your knees are level with your hips. You're gonna start with the lateral raise. I'm gonna turn it so just the back end of my weight touches. That's just gonna give me a little bit of a rotation through the arm. From here, I'm gonna make sure my head isn't forward because we don't wanna strengthen our body with a forward head position. Nice tall spine, abs are in and shoulders pulled down. Once you feel set, you're gonna bring those arms out to the side but slightly forward, keeping that little angle in your weight. When you touch back down, it's just that back end of the weight, not the whole weight front and back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now you're going to bring the weights to the thighs or right near the knees for your front raise. Your elbows are soft and out to the side. Your abs are on. And once again, we're going to turn the weight just a little bit so the inner part of the weight is slightly up to the ceiling. You'll maintain that as you go up and down. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to do the pull over. So you're going to lie back onto your ball. Your head is going to be on the ball and you're going to bring the arms over your head. Down you go. Head is on the ball. Hips come up a little bit. Arms go up. You're going to bring the weights over. Bend the elbows a little bit. And then lengthen them back up, stacking right over your forehead. Nice and slow. Feel your ribs not poking up too much. So you want to keep an abdominal contraction at the lower end of your rib. You're going to breathe in and exhale. Inhale, exhale to the ceiling. Inhale and exhale. Let's finish out this one. Inhale and exhale. Let's stay here for some chest press. So turn your weights to a diagonal. You're going to bend the elbows out to the side, getting a stretch, and then push them back up. I want your shoulders away from your ears and your neck really long, using the ball as a support. And we're going to go nice and easy. And 2. And 3. For those looking for additional challenges, you can do this with one arm, because then on the ball, you have to really work your legs and your core to not fall over because the weight is going to try to pull you off to one side. It's always an option to make things harder and easier with every exercise. Just learning what you can do and then modifying to make it right for you. And then finishing out that set, you can put your weights down on the floor and just take a stretch here. I like to lengthen out the legs and let the arms come open. We have time for one more, and we are gonna do the world's greatest stretch. So you're gonna step one foot back, and you wanna make sure that there's enough space between your foot and your block, because you're going to turn and twist. Arm can go to the ceiling if you like, but the main goal after that is to see how low you can go to get this elbow down to the mat between your foot and your block. You can bend your arm, you can bend your back knee, you can bend your top leg and see how low you can go, okay? With each rep, you might see that you can get more and more and more. Now, I'll show you this direction as well, and then we'll do 4 on each side. So you'd go here, twist, don't overdo it, guys, don't overdo it. And then the goal is to see how low you can go, getting the elbow close to the floor, and come back up. Usually by the 4th one, I can get my elbow to touch the floor. Just depends on how tight things are today. All right, here we go. Setting yourself up, starting side. You're gonna inhale when you reach, and exhale, come low, 1. Inhale, reach, and 2. Inhale, reach, and 3. Inhale, reach, and exhale, 4. Nice. All right, let's switch to the other side. Here we go. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And last one, inhale and exhale. Excellent. Ooh, take your time coming up. Maybe a quick quad stretch would be in order after that one. Whew. Alrighty guys, well that was it for today's class. Hopefully you enjoyed those little upper body, spine, core, back, hip. You know, it's always a mixed bag of tricks. So we'll see you next time.